All right, so here's a little winter project we'll be working on for the next couple of weeks. So the idea here is I'm taking an old carrot harvester and we're going to convert it into a garlic harvester. So where I am here, garlic is not very popular commercially anyway. People grow it in their gardens, but they don't actually have harvesters for it. So on the used market, and garlic harvesters are rare and go for a fair bit of money, but these little carrot harvesters are relatively cheap and are very similar to garlic harvesters. So the snout here is basically the same. So your garlic comes in through here and gets caught up into these straps, makes its way up. So here's where one of the first differences, you've got these carrot cutters here. So they're just going to top the carrots. The tops get thrown out of this little stainless steel chute here, and the carrots themselves fall down here. So this unit here is bolted to the side of this conveyor here. So it would get dumped right here on the conveyor, go up, and get dumped into a trailer, which is the other difference. So to start off with, we've got to get rid of these carrot cutters. And the idea for now is I'll have it run, see how fast this goes, and if we have enough RPM to just put some blades, say some just finishing wood blade or something that has a fair few teeth on it. If it's possible, maybe add a carrier bearing or something, and have the garlic get topped. Same idea, and we'll have the garlic shoot back there. The garlic tops get shot back there, and then we're gonna have the garlic fall down, go on the conveyor, same idea. And the other big difference here is this unit would have required a trailer. So this arm here will lift up and you have a tractor following you and you fill up bins. The idea here is I'm gonna remove this big conveyor system here, just keep what I need, a little elevator, and we're gonna have a pallet here, a box of pallet about 4 feet by 3 feet high, 4 by 4, 3 feet high. That's gonna tilt into the conveyor. So that's like the second big project. So the idea for today, at least, is to get this main part of the conveyor, get the conveyor off of it, and I believe I have to get that off, the snout here off, just to be able to get into the shop. I have 10-foot doors, and I think this is like 11 or 12 feet wide, this here. So we'll get everything undressed and take some measurements of where we want things to go. And the first order will be to install the axle back underneath where it was, but at the correct width. We track on 6-foot rows, 3 rows every 15 inches, so 30-inch beds under a tractor that's about 6 feet wide, so that we track on the same things. And so yeah, that'll be about it. So take some measurements, see if I can get it in the shop without removing anything, and if not, we'll start removing straps and stuff outside and then bring in indoors what we can. So I just measured it, and it is 12 feet wide, a little over 12 feet wide, so that's not getting in the shop. So yeah, we'll remove what we can and make it a little bit lighter because it is pretty heavy. And also, while I'm at it, just a little overview. So we relatively small farm here. We've got about 8 acres or something, and we farm about 2 acres of garlic every year for about 100,000 plants. Typically, people that do garlic on this scale would harvest everything by hand like we've been doing, but we all have jobs on the outside and we want to spend a little less time and mechanize the process a bit more. And I also enjoy doing this stuff, so that's kind of the idea behind this. I don't think it's 100% necessary for this scale, but instead of taking 5 or 6 days with about 8 people to harvest, we'll be a couple of people in a few hours and we should be able to get things done much quicker. So to remove these, we've got the link link right here. So we just gotta hammer this pin, kind of master pin if you will, all the way back out there. And this should come off. And that's probably a bulk of the weight of it too. It's all steel rods in there. So we'll remove that, we'll get the weight off, and then we'll remove the little snout up here and the hydraulics on it. Then we'll see if that fits through the door. There we go. So we've got this unclipped, did a bit by hand there. So we'll just try to feed it through itself with the tractor. So I'll just chain it up and we'll pull that as far as we can, and then bundle it up and move it away. So let's unbolt the hinge, the cylinders. We'll chain it up to the loader and try and get it out of there. I just repacked these cylinders, so there's no reason to plane under that. Alright, so we've got it inside. We removed the hydraulics from the frame, and we're going to remove this long bit up here that's sticking out. So that's out of the way because it's going to become way lower to dump into our Palex. And we're going to probably back up this hydraulic tank out of the way so we have room for that. So we've got the SkyTrack ready. A few bolts to come off up here, and then we'll cut it over here. Remove this unpainted section here, and then that'll probably tie in there later, but we'll get this out of the way for now. The main part of the conveyor is off, and we brought the axle in, so that's probably going to be the next step here. And it looks like it used to be exactly what we need it to be, which is a foot narrower. This seems to be set for 7 foot wide, and we need to be 6 feet wide, so I'll probably just chop that off, re-weld it here. And the next step is going to be to get this axle bolted under here with the U-bolts that came with it. Hopefully everything fits, even if we're changing the width, but we'll have that installed, then we'll have our right height. And once we got it at our right height, we'll be able to work on this end here and make our little boom that's going to be able to pick up the pallets, lift them up and swing them around so we can dump with the conveyor. So I've decided I'm going to remove the whole hydraulic tank and this pump here, and we'll just do bare frame and then start from there, because the mounting trusses here for the axle need to be moved. I don't need this last 1.5 or 2 foot here, so we have to chop that off. That's where the tank is bolted onto. It's just in the way, so we're going to remove all of that and then start fresh, lift this up at a nice height and bolt our axles underneath. Alrighty, so shit got kind of out of hand here, so after a few moments of thinking, I basically went down to the bare frame because the frame was pretty bent up. So we'll be coupling a 4x4 tubing back here instead of that C-channel. Should make it a bit more sturdy because there will be 1,000 pounds hanging off the end here. Hey buddy, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? That's right. All right, so it's back on the wheels. Kind of have a good idea of how it's going to go. So the tractor would be facing forward where the SkyTrack is, and the harvester is going to be bolted onto here, and the pallet lifter is going to be here. What's going on? What's going on, buddy? So yeah, I'll bolt these down good and proper, clean a few things up, and then we'll have to think about how we're going to organize this a little bit here. Got a few ideas. We'll draw some things out. Might pin it to the tractor to see what my distances are, where I can put the box and all that, but that's where we're landed.